Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar about our latest development platform, Good Luck. First, I would like to introduce our guest for today, Ron Hunter, Field Application Engineer and Security Specialist at Future Electronics, and myself, Martin Bernier, Director of the Design Center at Future Electronics. If you have any question, you can ask them at the end of the presentation. We're going to open the line for question, or you can use the chat window during the presentation. So, today we will touch on why security is important. We will discuss, why Future and microchips should be your partner for any kind of security needs, and we're going to cover the key technologies of the Good Luck platform. Security is a very deep topic, and we only have time today to scratch the surface. But the information we discuss should help you getting started with your new design. Why does sorry, just go back, Ron, please. Thank you. Why does everyone need security in their product? Today's we are, connect 24 hours 7. Every product is connect somewhere. We are connected somewhere. So security need to be considered for all product design. Even if your product is not connected to the web, you still need to have some kind of security. So there's 3 types of security that we can implement in a product. First is the physical security. So this is provided pretty much by the enclosure, by any kind of restricted access. You can have also a cyber security, commonly provided by your operating system, like Linux or Windows, or you can use embedded security. We are referring to an hardware level protection, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Of course, no security approach is 100% guaranteed. You just need to make it so hard so it's not worth the hacker's time or the effort of trying to break in your system. A blend of the 3 approach, it's really what should serve your company well. So that's the only, it's really a mix of the 3 aspects of security level that you can put in your system to protect it. Slide number 4. The topic of security, come with its own challenge, and what kind of security you need, and we're going to talk about why microchip is also why microchip is a good partner for that. So we need to know how we're going to implement the security. We need to know how we're going to get started with the security. What type of device should we test? What supplier? And so this is why we're talking about microchip today. And what about what kind of eval board I need? What kind of tool I need to be able to implement security in my system? And also, you discover that you need help because you don't have it's very complicated sometimes with the security, all the math function. You need to know who understand what and how we make all this work all together. So microchip simplify all of those challenge for you, in a way. Microchip has been in the security industry for over 20 years. It's a world leader in providing hardware security solution. You don't have a PhD in math or security, just let microchip do the heavy lifting for you. Their device perform all the intensive math function and the key storage. With a very, very simple to implement product, you can secure your design very easily. And unlike some supplier that rely on the web forum for technical support, microchip offer local security expert to help you with your design and to help you understand your security process that you need to put up front when you are looking at a new design. So We established that microchip is a great choice for a security product. So now the question is, why Future Electronics? Future Electronics is a global electronic distributor with over 50 years in the business, uh, and we have been a strong partner of microchip for over 20 years now. Future is privately held, uh, so that's let us do things that our competition can't, like flexible supply chains program, personalized payment terms. We have the largest available to sell inventory in the industry, and our highly automated global distribution center has the highest time uh, delivery, the highest on-time delivery of any distributor. But more important, we offer a solution, not just parts. Because our engineers work with supplier days in and days out, we have engineering expertise. We can get something that you can get from a Google search, thing like what supplier solution are the best to design, whose SD key is the easiest to use, or what kind of support I can get, from supplier X. So this is something that the engineer at Future can help you with our specialists, with our design center, with our field application engineer. Future also has a deep market expertise. Our marketing staff have their finger on the pulse of the electronic industry. And you can see pricing and lead time trends long before they are public knowledge. So it's very important when you are doing a design is to know, the support you're going to get from a supplier. It's also important to know that the part is available, that that the part will be available for a long time. There's inventory on the market, and to know the pricing. We don't do design today without knowing the pricing, without knowing the lead time, and more important, we want to be sure that we're going to get support directly from the field. So now that we know microchip and Future, let's talk about a good luck. Good luck is a perfect introduction to microchip security product. This is a complete development kit. It's built around the SAM11, that's a secure microcontroller, and the ATECC608A, that's a secure element. In addition to the Highlight microchip latest product, the Good Luck is also a great introduction to microchip trust platform. The trust platform is it's a providing software that help you, provisioning, your device when you do a development. So all your keys, all your certificate, everything you need to secure a device and to get connected to the cloud, it's hosted by the system, and you can use microchip tool to do the provisioning of your device. Good Luck comes with 3 demo that are showing all the key functionality of the product. So with the eval board, you are able to do the demo. You are able to look at the performance of the SAM11. You are able to work with the ATC608 device, and you also have different peripheral that you can, like the microbus connector that you are able to use to develop more applications. So you can create a small product, a small design, and use all the security feature inside the microcontroller or with the secure element to develop your product. So, and remember, this is a design that we did on our own inside a design center, so we can support it. We can help you with that design. So just a quick overview on the Good Luck. As you can see, all the red block are microchip components. So microchip does not only make, microcontroller, the PIC micro that everybody is aware of, but they're also making analog parts. Or like on this one, we have battery charger, we have a current monitor, we've got power, we have microcontroller, we've got LED driver, We also add the debugger on board, so you don't need an external debugger. So you are able to create your application, debug your application, use the microchip tools to develop your firmware and try it on the Good Luck platform. We also add 2 secure key for encryption, so you can create, like we have an example that shows how to use the system with a good key and a bad key, so you can simulate, like a counterfeit product. Someone is trying to make a copy of your product, so there will be like something like a bad key, and you have a good key when you want to simulate, like it's a real product, that it's registered to you on the web and so on. Even locally, you can use the key to secure your product. So Microchip makes some of the best hardware security product in the world, but they also make almost everything else you need for the design. Practically everything between the input and the output, except maybe the connector on that board, is from Microchip. So now I will let Ron give you more detail about the platform.
Thanks, Martin. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ron Hunter with Future. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us this afternoon and learn more about the Good Lock. Before we get into the hardware discussion, it may be helpful to highlight some high-level security concepts. As Martin alluded to a little bit earlier, security is a very deep topic, and we don't have much time together today, so we will only hit the high points in this presentation. But a good way to think of security is to remember CIA. C stands for confidentiality. You want to jumble and complicate your information so eavesdroppers can't read it. But believe it or not, confidentiality is not absolutely required for security. And whether or not you need it depends on the value of the information in your application. A related point worth mentioning is that encryption is not security. It's just a means of confusing potential hackers. The I in CIA stands for integrity. You must ensure the integrity of the information from the other end of the link before you use it. A stands for authentication. You have to ensure that the other side of the link is authentic. In reality, security is often achieved with just authentication and integrity measures. Cryptography at a high level is split into 2 types. The first type that we will address is symmetric cryptography. Symmetric cryptography uses a single key on both ends of the link. A key is just an alphanumeric sequence of a fixed length. One benefit of symmetric cryptography is the fast execution speed of its math functions. But a vulnerability of this system is the confidentiality of the key. It's like everything else in engineering, it's a trade-off. There's good and there's bad. And you, the designer, have to make the decision in your system as to what makes sense for your project. You will typically find symmetric techniques used for encryption, decryption, and hash functions. A hash is a math function that is strong and irreversible, which means you cannot regenerate the original message that was used in the hash. You've probably heard of SHA-256. This is an example of a hash. SHA is an acronym. It stands for Secure Hash Algorithm, and the output of a SHA-256 is a 256-bit number. Asymmetric cryptography is another tool in your security toolbox. With asymmetric crypto, 2 mathematically related keys are used. You have a public key and the private key. The public key can be shared publicly, but the private key must always be kept secure. Because asymmetric crypto functions are mathematically intense, it takes longer to perform them than it does for symmetric crypto functions. Digital signatures and verify functions are examples of where asymmetric cryptography is used. So symmetric and asymmetric cryptography are available in your toolbox, and each has their pros and cons. The 2 most important security functions from a hardware perspective are secure boot and secure firmware update. A secure boot uses trusted firmware that cannot be modified. This prevents bad firmware from loading during the system startup process, and it protects your system against threats before they can attack. And secure firmware update prevents bad firmware from being programmed into your system in the first place. So we got some concepts out of the way. Now let's talk about the hardware in the good lock. The SAM-L11 microcontroller is the key technology that makes the good lock work. The SAM-L11 is not just a microcontroller. It is a security-focused MCU that uses the latest ARM core, the Cortex M23, and it is the lowest power consumption M23 device in the world. The SAM-L11 provides physical protective features, including tamper detection and measures to prevent power monitoring and device scanning after decapsulation. The SAM-L11 also includes Trust Zone, which is an innovative method of partitioning memory into secure and non-secure areas. A memory controller supervises function calls to ensure that only authorized functions can access the secure areas. Hardware accelerators are important because crypto functions can take a long time to execute. The SAM-L11 includes symmetric cryptographic hardware accelerators to speed up the execution time. As we discussed earlier, secure boot is a foundational requirement for security, and the SAM-L11 supports this function. A true random number generator is critical for security because random numbers are inputs into almost all cryptographic math functions. But not all random number generators are created equally, and the SAM-L11 has a best-in-class random number generator. The SAM-L11 also has a unique serial number. This may seem trivial, but it's really not. The device's serial number is a critical input into many cryptographic functions, so this is another required feature for a successful security implementation. And for those of you that need a more capable processor than an M23, Microchip also offers other microcontrollers with security functions, including Cortex M4s, M7s, and high-end PIC32s. So now that we talked about the good lock, let's spend a few minutes to talk about the Trust Shield. The Trust Shield is a small clipboard that plugs into the good lock. The Trust Shield is based around Microchip's secure hardware element, the ATECC 608A. The 608A is a secure hardware element, and it basically is going to do two things in your design. First, it will perform cryptographic math functions, which themselves are very complicated. And secondly, it will store all of your security keys. You can add the 608A to any system, even if it doesn't use a Microchip microcontroller. All of the functions are executed inside the 608A, where the keys are. So secret information never leaves the chip. Now, unlike the accelerators that we talked about for the SAM-L11, the 608A can support both symmetric and asymmetric security techniques. Like we talked about earlier, symmetric security is simpler to design and it executes faster, but it's not as robust. While asymmetric security is more robust, but it's also more complex and typically has a slower execution time. Now, in the real world, most applications are going to use a combination of both of these techniques. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because the hardware accelerators in the 608A can execute cryptographic functions 1,000 times faster than code running in a microcontroller. This means faster device response, lower power consumption, and longer battery life for your products. Two monotonic counters are also included in the 608A to help you limit the life cycle of your product, for example, a consumable, if you'd like. Unique serial numbers are provided to serve as device identifiers, and they also serve as inputs to cryptographic math functions. And one point that we didn't really make up here, but I want to bring to your attention is how robust the 608A is. A team of hackers worked for 3 months to try to get to the secrets inside the 608A, and they failed. Okay, we talked about the good lock, we talked about the Trust Shield. What can you really do with these boards? Well, as we've discussed, security can be challenging to implement, so it helps to have some examples to work from. The Good Lock and Trust Shield offer 3 feature-rich demos out of the box to help you get started. The hacker demo illustrates the use of Trust Zone and the key security features that are provided in the SAM-L11 microcontroller. This demo shows you how secure and non-secure projects can exist on the SAM-L11. The Secure Boot demo is critically important. This demo is super helpful because it will walk you step by step through the process of executing only genuine code. The other foundational block of embedded security is authentication. The act of ensuring something is what it claims to be. Without authentication, you cannot have security. The authentication demo takes you step by step through how this is done. So everything that we've talked about thus far is great, but how do you actually get secret keys into those secure elements? Do you have to program them on the manufacturing floor? Well, that is an option, but Microchip has a better solution. Microchip has you covered with their Trust platform. It's an innovative web-based design suite and pre-provisioning service that supports almost any volume. Microchip's secure manufacturing facilities will safely provision keys inside the devices prior to shipment to your contract manufacturer, and those keys are protected through the lifetime of the chip. The Trust platform has 3 tiers of service that address different customer requirements. Trust and Go is ideal for simple applications that only require TLS or LoRaWAN network authentication. There's no paperwork required, no NDA required, no expert or certificate authority is required either. This makes Trust and Go a cost-effective, fast time-to-market solution, and a volume of as few as 10 pieces are all that's required. So Trust and Go makes secure key storage available for the mass market. If you like Trust and Go, but your use case is more involved, then you'll want to take a look at Trust Flex. Trust Flex is a superset of Trust and Go, and it supports more use cases and adds additional functions. Trust Flex supports any cloud connection, and it's compatible with any certificate authority. And the Trust Platform Design Suite will remove friction from your development. Minimum order quantity for Trust Flex is 2,000 pieces. And the third tier is Trust Custom, which is a fully customizable secure element. With Trust Custom, you start with a blank device, and you can transform it into almost anything. An NDA is required here. Trust Custom, and its 4,000 piece minimum order quantity, is capable of addressing any use case that the other 2 tiers did not address. So no matter what your use case is or what your volume requirements are, Microchip can meet your needs. Another consideration is the cloud service that you plan to connect to. There are lots of choices out there, and each has their own software stack. Microchip maintains software stacks for each of these cloud providers, so you don't have to. This is another way in which Microchip makes it easy to secure your end products. Now, we have provided a lot of information in this session, but we've really only scratched the surface of what security is and how you can implement it. For more information, these links will get you started in the right direction. I recommend Microchip's security videos on YouTube. They're very well done, they're very brief, and each are easy to understand. And the last question about Good Lock is, how can you get one? Well, all you have to do is ask your future salesperson, and they will be happy to help. So to wrap things up, in today's session, we talked about why security is important, why Microchip and Future should be your security partners, what the Good Lock and Trust Shield are and how they can help you, key technologies, including the SAM-L11 secure microcontroller, the 608A secure hardware element, and the Trust Platform pre-provisioning service. We've also highlighted additional resources for further study. So at this point, we'll open the floor for any questions. Well, at this point, it would appear that there are no further questions. So on behalf of Martin and Future Electronics, I'd like to thank each of you for attending the session today, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you.